Hi, this is Mary Kay. Today I'm going to be painting two herons, a mama or a father heron, I'm not sure which it is, and a baby. This picture is by Steve, starts with a G. I will look it up before I put it online. I did some prep work. I took the photo and I cropped it so that it would fit on an 1/8 sheet of watercolor paper, which is 7.5 by 11 inches. Then I traced it using water-soluble graphite paper. I didn't trace all the twigs. I just traced the birds. And then I used a tiny little brush and PBO drawing gum. Before I use my brush though, I put it in dilute shampoo and swish it around, and then I use the drawing gum to just put on these cute little furs, and I made sure I had the adult ones, feathers here, and the soft feathers there. That was my prep work. When looking at this picture, I need to decide which way I want to go. Do I want to work with the background forward, or the foreground and then the midground, then the background? And you just have to decide what is going to make your picture easier to paint. In this case, today, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint in the twigs. I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to use a credit card to lift the little lights on these. So first I want to get the color brown that I want to use for the twigs. Some places it's kind of a warm brown, which is burnt sienna, and some places it's a little bit cooler brown, which if I just add French ultramarine blue to that, I have it. I can also make it a little bit redder brown. If I take the burnt sienna and add a little bit of permanent rose to it, I'll get a little warmer, redder brown. So I'm going to start with these. I'm just gonna paint these twigs. That one went over here. And I'll give this a minute to set up a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit darker. Boy, it's a lot darker. I stuck it in the neutral tint there. I want to use all these browns. Here's one that's gonna kind of come up through that and into that little guy. Here's one that breaks off. I'm not gonna put that breaky one so close to the little guy's beak. I don't want it to be too pulling. I don't want it to pull away from the beak. That's really the focal point. I mean, there's this big one too, but the little guy is what this painting's all about. So I've put in some of these, and now I want to highlight these at the top. I can't get this off my little palette. There we go. Oh, almost had it. Okay, this is a cut up credit card. Using the rounded edge, I'm just going to scrape the tops of these. And that's going to make it look like the light is shining off the top. If you wait too long to do this, it won't come up at all. And if you don't wait long enough, it will make a little black line instead. I'm not painting every one of these twigs. I'm just trying to make the idea that there's a nest here. So again, I'm using the different browns that I have mixed. I think I'll make some more of this brown, lighter reddish brown that I had up there because there was only one of those. Take this again on all the ones I just made. I'm scraping the tops of them. Now I want to basically kind of just darken these corners. I could really go crazy and paint every one of these twigs, but that is not my intention. My intention is to just make it look like there's a bunch of twigs that they're sitting in a nest. What I'm going to do now is block in some of these areas down at the bottom so they're more solid. You know, if it doesn't work, I'll try something different. That's the trick with a painting, is you look at it and you think, how am I going to do this part? What is the easiest way to make it look like a watercolor painting of the thing I'm representing? There's a lot. And I don't want my focus to be on the nest, really. I just want you to know it's a nest there. That's why I don't want to use a bunch of PBO on the nest and get every one of these little twigs. I'm just gonna suggest it more than anything. I'll put some more scrapes in here. And I'm leaving a lot of white. Let's see, I can always fill that in later. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with the nest. Now I'm going to paint the background in, because I have these little feathers, and if I need to put the background over those feathers so that when I pick up with the PBO, it's going to really show. This Heronry is down by Mavericks. You just park in the Mavericks parking lot, and then you just take that first little walk. They're growing really fast. So if you want to see this, you need to get out there soon, this week. So what I'm trying to do just now is I'm trying to make a really dark green. So I used Windsor Green blue shade, and I added neutral tint to it, and that's got that really dark color fast. There are little spots showing. This is called the bokeh effect in photography and also in painting, where there's just a little blurry lights showing. So I'm going to leave some holes, and I'm going to charge some other paint into them. They're really pretty circular. I'm hoping to make them more circular as I paint along. Okay, so I need a lot more paint than that. That was burnt sienna, that's that. Oh boy. Okay, that's dark. That's nice and dark. Very, very carefully I'm painting next to the adults. I did not fill this all in.
Where are you hiding the rest of them?
I think you'll be able to hear my husband talking a little bit. He's on a Zoom meeting. Could use a little brush right there in that corner. And then in here. I just made a big blob right there. Eek. His leg is right here. So I'm painting in between these two legs. Here, I didn't put all the twigs in. Oh, I think I went too high with the green right there. I think I'm a little gonna be stuck with that mistake. And then I'm adding the greens right here at the nest. The top of the nest, and then it all becomes just brown. Boy, that makes a quick dark green. Hey, that's close. Okay, this little birdie here. Oh, it's so cute. That's just the whole point of this picture. Is my head getting in the way? Where's this little body over here? How far does it go? It goes in here too. I put green here, but that needs to be white. And then this is twigs in here. Okay, I'm gonna do the best I can with what I've got here with this background. So this is colored in, goes all the way to here. And then I'm gonna take some cerulean. I'm gonna place it in these circles. Kind of see what it does. If it'll sort of charge out and lift. I want this bokeh effect here with the watercolor. It's a bit messy. I think it needs to be much darker right in here. Right around our little heron, our baby. So I'm gonna make some more of that green with the with the neutral tint and get right in here and just darken this up. Makes a little
You know, that site across California is something that our district, I haven't heard of it in the last 10 years. So, I mean, if you guys are doing it down south, middle, central California, is it something that we want to raise the awareness on in our year? And push it more.
all right. Here's some more darks in here. I think that's better to be around. We want that to be around that little bird, nice and dark, so that he stands out the most. He's so cute. Okay, this could be a little darker too, but not as important. Okay, let's see. Alrighty, I'm gonna stop with that. I can see right here that this needs to be the little bird. I've used that green. There's no lifting up Windsor green. I'm gonna dry it and hopefully I can put some white on that and make it the bird again. Okay, here, I'm gonna dry this. When you're using a permanent color like Windsor green, you have to make sure that it's really, really, really dry before you lift up your PBO. I'm gonna try to see if I can put white over that green. I'm not gonna be able to lift it up. That's one of the greatest disadvantages of using Windsor green. And it's beautiful, but you can't lift it. Let's see if I can put some bleed-proof white over the top of this. Like I said in my last week's video, it's so much easier to not make a mistake. Once you make a mistake, it's gotta fix it. It's a lot harder. Bleed-proof white's pretty darn good. I'll give it credit. That's pretty impressive that it was able to cover that Windsor green so well. Good thing it was dry first. Okay, so that special paint is Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed-Proof White. I've tried to put it right here in that spot, but it just gets chunky and breaks up and messes with all my other paints. Okay, so now I'm gonna do my best to remove the PBO that I put on here without smearing. That has to be green, or dry. That green has to be dry. There's fur. Okay, that there, I can't go over. Okay, there, I have the outline of two furry birds in the nest. Very good. Now what I'm going to do is start to paint these beautiful birds. I think I'm going to start with the yellowy beaks and get those in. I've got white paint. All right. Yellow, almost orangish brown a little bit. I'm just going to continue to use this paint. Yellow in that and see what color I get. That's pretty close to okay, I'm going with this. Okay. Get the eye in there. Here's the cutest part of all, a little yellow beak. Hello. And then they have yellow eyes. They have yellow eyes with black centers. And the glints are almost in the yellow part. This guy's slightly foreshortened, so instead of a circle, it's an oval. And we'll get that fixed up later. Now we're going to go into the dark parts of their heads. I'm using neutral tint and French ultramarine blue The reason that I wanted to, this is pretty dark, but I didn't want to put this over green. And then I'm going to kind of paint negative here so those look fluffy. Into the eye. And there's a dark line right above the yellow part of the beak. And then over here, the little guy, let me see if that yellow's so cute. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, so it's very dark right here. There's highlights. Dark colors often show their highlights. And then this is...
Yeah, I was just wanted to say that I think, judging from what we've seen in the last couple of years, it would be more effective and behoove us as a council to at least get something to each of the committees after the June COG and have them come back to us in August, because there is such a lag time on this thing that almost without any volition on the part of anybody, it drags through the year and nothing happens. So I'd like
and now I'm just adding water to this to get a little bit of the dark color into the fuzz.
Some kind of direction for each of the committees.
Okay, and then there's a little bit, just basically kind of dirty water to make it look like some shadow in those funny feathers. Oh, he's so cute. Fluffy. And there's some brown here in these chest feathers. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage this green. I'll try. Well, it does kind of look like a little bird in there. Maybe if I go like put a little bit around that. And he needs a little black circle in that eye. Now there's a glint, and the glint is actually on the yellow part. I'm going to put that circle in the center. And then I'm going to clean my brush and get into my white paint and just put a glint on the yellow part of the eye. Right here. Didn't really glint because it's not quite dry yet, but let's just try another one. We'll try that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the parent. Do the same thing with that. This one has bangs over its eyes. See if I can lift that. Maybe. You're getting there? Oh, I kind of lifted it. Yay. Okay, now I can put the yellow back on and put the shadows around it again. Okay, I'm going to go into the sort of the light brown here around the head. Just using the side of this little brush, leaving whites. That's PBO. I didn't lift it yet. Okay. So fuzzy down there. here. And then there's the very light gray above on the top of this beak. And again, there's a line around the eye that's dark, and then the pupil is
Well, I would like to see us.
that's not bad. That's going to need a highlight.
The June cog,
And now I'm going to go with a little bigger brush, and I want to put
that they're looking at accomplishing, so that we can say yay or nay and give them direction early in the year. So it's not the exception rather than the rule that they have a plan for the year.
okay, that's gray with a little bit of that cerulean in it to make it. I'm trying to do these feathers now. And I'm just trying to leave some highlights. Or, yeah, I'm trying to do some darks and paint around the highlights. I think you could spend a lifetime just painting this one heron because the photography is just incredibly beautiful. You can see every feather. Incredible. But I'm not going to be painting every feather because I just don't have the patience. And I like it to look like a watercolor. I want to paint a watercolor in a half an hour and call it good. That's how I like to paint. So I'm going to put some more darks in this part. I'm right in here. This is like the belly. And this one leg comes out of these feathers, and the other leg right here goes up to that wing. Okay. Getting there. It's slow. Somewhat tedious here. Okay. Going to go in some darks right in here. And now I have these gray feathers that really they're overlapping. I don't want to paint every one of these, but I really want to suggest how beautiful they are. I've never seen such a spectacular picture before. I think there's a little more brown right where I have that. There's some brown down here by the foot, that leg. There's more brown in this. Some dark brown here. Okay, I'm just going to put the legs in and a highlight. I'm going to see how it looks. Okay, the yellowish brown, the same, really kind of the same color as the beak is this leg, at least on the top part, and then it turns. blue-gray here. Call that. And then they're so feathery. They're very, very feathery birds. I think that's one of the things they say about birds, is that they have feathers. This is a little bit of a disappearing edge right here. Feather that out. Goes up to the... Okay, how's my little guy down here doing? Does he look feathery? Well, I think I'm not going to make it too much better than this, so I think it's time to stop.